Like, yeah, I'm on one. So I get to the intersection, cut off traffic. Now I'm right behind him. Feel me? Dumps on the 14 going south. I'm right behind him now. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm finna get his ass. Roll down the window. I try to shoot. Shoot one time. Blow. Shoot two times. Click. Now this motherfucker over with. I done used all the bullets. Now I'm super irritated. Like, man, I gotta crash into this nigga. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. So boom, I try to pit maneuver. Boom! Hit the back tire. He just skirted a little bit. So I hit the gas again. I'm like, oh, all right, that wasn't enough. I'm like, this next time I'm going crazy. I go for it one more time. This time I put the whole wheel into it though. Like, boom, I give it all. I got into this one. I hit the wall. My car just instantly, boom. This shit just keep galloping. A fan pulls up. Oh man, I seen what happened. You all right, bro? You good? We jump in the car with him. Follow the truck. Follow the truck.
I stood in the back with the baby, but it's crazy because when I first went to court, that's what I did the last time. And the judge, she let me do it. So she like, oh no, she can stand up. So this time, it was like a full circle. I could tell that she noticed that my son got bigger or something because she looked at us, smiled. Then she said hi.
First, I hated her. Not hated her, but I just thought she was just too raunchy, just too weird. And then, the raunchy weird stuff just started like being good for like the camera, I guess, you know? So it started to stick. And she had a great impact on the Blue Girls Club. So it was just like, all right,
I guess.
that's amazing. But what it really was she had lost her tooth on the show. And I just felt like super guilty about it. And I was like, damn, I gotta change her life now because like, I feel like it was my fault, you know?
Well, I have another hard question.
Hello, babe.
Stop grabbing me.
Why not?
Come on, where are you, bitch?
Hey, come on. Hey,
I'm gonna step out and let y'all do the
all right.
Come on, I'm grabbing you. What are you getting up for?
Stop
grabbing me, please. Stop grabbing me. Please, don't grab me. I'm in. Don't go up to her and be like, yo, I think we can do business and let's do this and let's do that and let's do that. Like, that's like me walking up to one of the little baby artists, 42 Doug, and I'm like, yo, bro, I think you dope artist, you got potential. Look, I got this much money for you. Let's figure out how we can keep you around and make you big. And little baby gonna be like, bro, what the f are you doing? This is my artist. Like, what? Why would you want to do a song or something? Great. Tell him to contact, send a song, make it professional.
How about this? What if her networking with Lil Baby equals eventually her getting a feature from Lil Baby, which would be big for her career, no?
The internet is convinced it solved a mystery that the courts somehow missed. One leaked clip, one early release, and suddenly everybody thinks they know exactly why Blueface walked out sooner than expected. The blogs ran with it, comment sections locked in, group chats went crazy. Because in people's minds, there's only one reason someone with serious charges comes home early. And once that idea gets planted, logic usually doesn't survive. But the truth is way less dramatic, way more calculated, and honestly a lot smarter than what people want to believe. To understand why the cooperation rumors even exist, you have to rewind to the very beginning, before the leaks, before the speculation, before people started playing internet detective. Blueface's legal trouble didn't start small. This wasn't a slap on the wrist situation. He got locked up on attempted murder charges tied to a shooting near Las Vegas Boulevard. That alone is enough to change someone's life permanently. This wasn't random either. When authorities picked him up at Lowe's Chicken and Waffles, that detail mattered. That tells you he wasn't just caught slipping, he was being watched. Movements tracked, patterns noted. Law enforcement doesn't move like that unless they believe something serious is there. The charges he was facing carried the kind of time that ends careers, not pauses them. Bail was set at $50,000, which sounds manageable until you understand what came with it. His legal team managed to negotiate him out of the immediate danger, but the escape came with strings attached. Heavy ones. The deal included a condition that most people glossed over until it mattered. If Blueface caught any case anywhere after that deal, a mandatory 4-year sentence would automatically activate. That's not normal probation. That's walking on ice so thin that even breathing wrong could crack it. Lawyers call this type of deal a pressure cooker. You avoid the worst outcome up front, but every step after that has consequences. One bad decision, one emotional moment, one misunderstanding, and you're done. Most people in that position move different. They stay low. They avoid risky environments. They listen to advice, especially from people who understand how the system works. And that's where this story starts turning. WAC 100 told Blueface very clearly to stay out of Vegas. That wasn't ego. That wasn't controlling behavior. That was strategy. Vegas wasn't just another city. It was the location tied directly to the original incident. Being there while your legal situation is unresolved is like walking back into the scene of a fire with gasoline on your clothes. But emotions don't care about strategy. Relationships don't move on court timelines. Pride doesn't listen to legal warnings. Blueface let personal dynamics override professional advice, and once that happened, the situation started slipping fast. They went to Vegas anyway. While out, a fan approached Chrissy and Rock. The interaction wasn't friendly. The fan said she loved Rock but didn't rock with Blueface. Rock was pregnant, already under pressure, already emotional, and she reacted physically. The situation escalated quickly, and like everything else these days, it was being recorded. Blueface saw his pregnant partner in a physical altercation that was turning into a viral moment in real time. From a street perspective, grabbing the phone to stop the recording probably felt like protection, like damage control, like handling something before it got worse. From a legal perspective, it was a disaster. The phone was valued at over $800. That detail is everything, because once property crosses a certain value threshold, the charge changes, even though the phone was returned shortly after, even though there was no intent to keep it, even though the goal was to stop filming. The law doesn't operate on intention. It operates on elements, and the elements of robbery were technically met. That single action triggered the worst possible outcome. That robbery charge violated his California probation. And remember that 4-year mandatory sentence clause? It didn't care about context. It didn't care about emotion. It activated instantly. Blueface was now staring down 4 years in state prison, not because of a new major crime, but because of a moment that spiraled out of control. This is where most people assume cooperation enters the story, because to the average viewer, there's no other way out. Serious charge, mandatory time, high-profile name, early release later on. Easy conclusion, right? Except that's not how the legal system actually works. This is where Blueface's attorney, David Kessler, earns every dollar he's paid. Because instead of panicking, instead of scrambling for a deal involving information, his team focused on the weakest link in the chain, the Vegas robbery charge. Kessler managed to get that charge reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor. That one change rewrote the entire situation, because probation violations are calculated based on the severity of the new offense. A felony violation triggers maximum penalties. A misdemeanor changes the math completely. Once the charge was reduced, the mandatory 4-year sentence was no longer automatic. Instead of being shipped off to state prison, Blueface was sentenced to 300 days in county jail. That's not luck, that's legal precision. Now here's where the internet loses the plot. People saw him come home early and immediately screamed cooperation. But early release doesn't automatically equal snitching. That's a myth pushed by people who don't understand sentencing structures. There are multiple legitimate ways someone can serve less time than expected. Good time credits are the most common. Inmates earn time off for following rules, staying out of trouble, and participating in approved programs. That time adds up fast, especially in county facilities. There's also sentence recalculation. When charges are reduced or reclassified, release dates shift. Jail time works differently from prison time. County sentences move faster. There are also overcrowding policies, administrative credits, and custody adjustments that shorten stays without any cooperation involved. Then there's cooperation, which is just one option, and it's not subtle. Real cooperation leaves paperwork. Big paperwork. If Blueface had cooperated at the federal level, there would be a formal motion filed by prosecutors. It's called a 5K1.1 motion. That document requests a reduced sentence in exchange for substantial assistance. These filings are public record. They don't get hidden. They don't stay secret. They become part of the case history. Blueface's case has none of that. No 5K1.1 motion, no substantial assistance filings, no prosecutor statements acknowledging cooperation, no sealed documents later unsealed, nothing. Instead, the timeline lines up perfectly with a reduced charge, a recalculated sentence, and standard release credits. That's legal work, not information trading. So what about the leaked footage everyone keeps pointing to? That's where people really reach. The the clip doesn't match any real cooperation procedure, cooperation isn't a casual conversation. It involves multiple debriefings, signed agreements, documented testimony, and official acknowledgement in court. You don't just sit in a room, talk, and magically get released. And here's the biggest red flag. If someone actually cooperated in a federal case, the evidence wouldn't be a shaky leaked clip. It would be court paperwork. Judges don't reduce sentences off vibes. They do it off motions. The leaked footage proves one thing only. People are desperate for a narrative that feels exciting. The idea of someone telling fits street gossip better than the reality of lawyers doing their job. What really happened is way less dramatic, but way more instructive. Blueface nearly lost everything because he ignored advice and let emotions guide his actions. One trip he shouldn't have taken. One moment that felt protective but crossed legal lines. One probation condition that left zero room for error. What saved him wasn't cooperation, it was having a lawyer who knew exactly where to attack the case. Reducing that charge was the key. Once that happened, everything else fell into place naturally. This situation should be a lesson, not a rumor mill. Walking around with a heavy plea deal means every move matters. Locations matter, associations matter, emotions matter. And once you're in that position, the system isn't forgiving. It also shows how fast misinformation spreads when people don't understand the legal process. Early release doesn't automatically mean someone talked. Sometimes it means the law was applied correctly. So before throwing labels on someone's name, it helps to look at paperwork instead of timelines. Courts move on documents, not assumptions. Now the bigger question is whether Blueface learned from this, because legal luck runs out. Strategy only works if behavior changes. One more emotional decision could have erased all of this. What do you think now that you know the full breakdown? Did the legal side change how you see the situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this helped you understand how cases really work behind the scenes, hit that like button and subscribe for more real breakdowns without the internet noise.